Stock vehicles, yes you can. Yes you can be useful. We begin with the Leopard 1. As you can see, I've only got the tracks researched, and that's it. So without further ado, let's begin. Now, as you will notice, the chance to win predicted by XVM is 36. 36% chance to win. Welcome to my world. We do have a few good players, but they have a ton more. In fact, they have no less than yellow, and it's mostly green and blue. We have myself green, a blue, and yeah, another green. That's it. Good luck. So, I drove, let's see here, from the starting area, from where about the heavies are coming now, driving to this spot here, which is a good spot for a vehicle that is meant for spotting enemies, is to go. And I have a ST1 in my sights, but don't expect me to get too many penetrations and stuff like that, mostly harassing because this gun is shit. Like I said, I only have the tracks on this vehicle, as you saw. Now, I will tell you that I have been moving this crew up from the previous vehicles, so they do have fairly good camo skill and some other things like Sixth Sense and a little bit of repairs, snapshot. That's about it. Off-road driving for the driver. It might be stale for now, you know. Not a whole lot happening, but in the background of it all, there's a lot happening. So I got lit and rocked by an Object 268 because I fired, because I didn't know he was there. Yeah, that was a little vengeful shot I took back at him. But yeah, he rocked me pretty hard. This vehicle has 1550 HP, that is 1550, and now I'm only at 767. Yeah, Object 268, it's like a truck. You know, a common mistake is when people just want to drive into a lake because they don't like their stock vehicle. And you really shouldn't do that. You're hurting yourself, and you're hurting the team. You're hurting your stats. It's kind of like hurting yourself, as I already said. That was a nice pen on the 103 turret. Take advantage when tanks turn their turret. That shot there was pretty lucky. I mean, from that distance to hit the hatch, you know. Very interesting thing I noticed about this PBK CT57 heavy that struck me, and I actually write it in chat right now. That's why my vehicle stopped moving. And any moment now, I write. Oh shit, Pepcac shooting regular ammo. That's a first. Yeah, People's Itty Bitty Committee, Unicom clan. That T57 heavy was shooting regular AP rounds, which is extremely rare. You barely ever see them shooting anything but heat, which is their premium rounds. And the reason I know this is because the sound it made when it hit my track, it wasn't a fizzle, which it would be if it were heat. It was a clang, which would only be if it were AP. Interesting. So that is a yeah, they're all comes up there. What I gotta show you their stats. That was a blue guy. Here's a wicked guy from the Wicked clan. It's Yak PZ 100, and of course I bounce off. Pretty much just harassing him right now. We don't know if that hit. We're just gonna pretend like it did damage anyway. So notice, when you don't see your enemy through bushes, that means that they don't see you firing either. Eureka, right? when you do see through the bushes, you know, that means you're probably gonna get lit unless your camo factor and or your crew camo is really good and the enemy's view range and view modification perks and modules are really bad. It's all about numbers, right? Just computation on the computer end. So once again, since I do see them right through that bush, I don't have a distance between me and it. I do risk the chance of getting lit. If you're far enough back and you can, like that, you see that? Like it's solid. You don't see through the bush. But now I see through the bush, so that doesn't count. It's the 15-meter trick. People refer to it as that. There's other names for it, but if you get far enough back, if you don't know this already, you're not gonna get spotted when you fire. And typically, like, you'll pull up light, you'll back up far enough, shoot, and rinse and repeat. The mouse is coming over. That is pretty hard to stop, isn't it? And it's another Major Dent from the Wicked clan. It's another good player. You know, it's not like some window licker and a mouse is driving to be eaten alive by us, right? This guy knows how to angle, he's gonna make his shots count, and things like that. Right now we're down. The score is 4-5, not in our favor, obviously. And the enemy, let's take a look at the map. The enemy has taken the hill. They seem to have their forest on the 9 line on lockdown. And they do have stuff on the J line, but so do we. I think our advance is pretty much on the J line. That's where they are the weakest and least populated. Oh, look at what we lit here. A Waffenträger at K7. Let's see who's piloting the Waffenträger, just out of curiosity. The Waffenträger aus E100 is being piloted by M. Lopez from the GO clan GO dash, which is the Game Over clan, friends of BIA. I knocked the tree over, which is not so good and not intentional. I was turning, but that kind of gave them an idea. It didn't give me away, you know. It didn't get me lit because the tree is still providing camo once it falls, but I believe it provides a bit less when it falls, a bit less. So now they're coming down the hill, and you know, this is where the action is really gonna pick up, right? Because they're gonna get all in my face, and holy shit, the mouse is in proximity, and now I'm lit by God knows what. It could be anything, probably the object 140, and I'm checking left, right. I'm turning my camera. Am I low enough in this depressed elevation that I can be hull down or possibly turret down, because this turret is like made of paper and other mountains coming over it. And it seems like I damaged the mouse's track but did no damage to him in hit points, but that's good. Maybe he slid down, or maybe he repaired, or maybe it just turned the track yellow, and in the background it'll be easier to break the track later. All these things are happening at once, like holy shit, I'm looking this way, I'm looking that way. Yes, they have an artillery, which is bad. But I had to notice that, right? I had to notice that they have artillery because I have to watch out for getting hit overhead, right? Not only being body and head down, hull and turret down behind this elevation right here in terrain, but also being safe from artillery in case artillery is going to fire this way. And with a Yak PZE next to me, that's like a double whammy. All the more reason. Oh, what did I tell you? What did I tell you? Look right there, look right there, look right there. Smoking crater. Artillery just fired into there. It doesn't take a psychic. You just pick up on these patterns, how artillery behaves. If you're having real trouble understanding how artillery behaves, get yourself an artillery. Start playing that. Alright? Get yourself an artillery, start playing that. If you don't know how Artie behaves, how Artie thinks. Right? The best way to just get into their shoes. If you don't know how tank destroyers think, get yourself a tank destroyer. Preferably not some exotic one, some, you know, typical tank destroyer. Hellcat, not typical, okay? You know, Foch 155, not typical. Waffenträger, not typical, right? Or if you want some typical ones, just, you know, contact me in person, or we'll go over that later. But, you know, typical tank destroyer would be like a T-28 Prot, or let's see, for Germany it could be like a Yak Panther 2, a Stug, a Hetzer, the American T-18, things like that. But the list goes on. I mean, if you really want to know like which tank destroyers play very traditionally and aren't that special, we'll go over that another time. Right now, I don't stop lighting stuff because here's what happens. If you look at the map, I am the only beacon of light on this side. All right, and we just lost a guy because he died. The only thing that's keeping lights for our artillery, and I unfortunately took a hit, but hey, no risk, no progress, right? For our Maus, for our Waffenträger, for our Lorraine, 155, 51 Arty, the only thing that's keeping things lit here, where I am, is me. That's it. Because that's all that remains on this team. 4 tanks, of which I am one, and an artillery piece. Same thing on the enemy team. 4 tanks and an artillery piece. And right now I'm driving backwards. Why? Well, to the respective position of the Object 140 and IS-7, alright? Because I want to be behind the bush. Always approach the enemy suspected position, okay, with some kind of bushes or trees in the way, in between you and them, right? They have to be between you and the suspected position. And I control myself. I don't fire because God forbid I fire, I'm gonna get lit. Remember what I told you. If you can see him through that bush and you fire, he's gonna see you. Okay? Don't fire. Look at this. I know I have savvy guys on my team. Look at this. I don't even need to press tab. We got 2 blue and a green blue, or yeah, on the team. They know what I'm doing here. They know exactly what I'm trying to do and what I'm going for. And I keep these guys lit, and yet another one goes down. Fantastic. That IS-7 was killed. Now their Object 268 was killed. And I'm keeping the ACVZE 100 lit. Or at least I was. Now I'm going to try to do that again by going all the way around them. Going right over here. Light them from another way, with always thinking with bushes in the way, trees in the way, something in the way to properly scout him out. Not like just run up to him like, oh, there he is, guys, but I'm lit too, I'm gonna go down, but hey, at least you did that. Why? When you look at this, we have 2 minutes, and it was almost 3 minutes, pretty much 45 seconds now. We got plenty of time to kill 3 enemies, which let's check how much life they have. 63 for the YAG, 279 for the KV4. And I'm sorry, not KV4. The M103 has 1395 left, and the Arty was never spotted because it's an Arty. It's in the back, right? So right now I'm gonna go through here, okay? Because I knew the YAG would be somewhere around there based on his last position, and I shoot him in the back, okay? And I get lit. Well, and why did I do that? Because it was opportune. But now that I'm lit, I can't keep going forward. I need some speed, and I need to do something crazy, going in an absolutely different direction from where Arty might possibly be aiming, such that he has to halt traverse, or that the other guy might have been aiming up there. So I chose to dive off a cliff safely. Dive off that cliff back there safely. It was the best possible maneuver to do because A, it gave me a quick boost of speed, and you're harder to hit when you're speeding, rather than going up that slightly incline up at the top of the hill. Now I found their Arty, killed their Arty. Good game. That's how it should be executed, alright? Not sloppy. That's how it should be executed. Now let's take a look at some screenshots here. In this one over here, as you can clearly see, I got Mastery Badge First Class and Patrol Duty. Fantastic. Let's go on. I got second highest EXP on the team. First being the Waffenträger, who did an amazing 9,373 damage. Okay? And looking onward, why I was only second place for EXP gain on the team, because he did that crazy damage, but I did, as you can see, only 840 damage, but 6,730 spotting damage. Okay, so you get paid for the damage you do, but also for your spotting, just like regular damage. We're gonna pick up the pace here, and this is gonna be a bat chat video. I don't have the Top Gun in my bat chat. In fact, it's stock with the AMX 5100 gun, which is the Tier 8 French heavy. I mean, unless you want to consider it the Lorraine 40-ton gun, which is a undergunned vehicle, if you ask me. It's not, you know, unfun to play. It's just undergunned in my opinion. But anyway, I am rushing that location, like the 1-2 line, possibly Alpha 3 from this side of the map, because that's what a fast scouty tank should be doing. Yeah. So I'm gonna go all the way here and try to nestle into that corner. I am loaded for combat by now. The drum or the ammunition. The wonderful, wonderful regular AP rounds is ready to fight this T-69. Yeah. Let's see how I do against that. Alright, and I choose to reload because one round isn't going to be night and day. Now. Where do you think the enemies are? More are probably going to come from like Alpha 5 or Alpha 4, where that guy came from. You've been on this map a million times, okay? You know this. Here comes an object. Here comes an object, and pause, okay? Just pause. Yes, he's from Gorillas, which is a really good clan. And here comes this object. Obviously, he's gonna see me. This is really close. Let's take a look around. Well, let's see. What are my options? You gotta think quick, cause there is no pause in game, right? You gotta think real quick. What's going through my head right now? Are my allies here to support me? Barely. Here's one, a T-125. What's over here? Can I run there without getting derped? Look at the health I have. I'm probably gonna get killed if I try to run, aren't I? Is my reload ready? Can I fight? Well, kind of ready. It's like 2/3, maybe close to 3/4. What am I gonna do? Let's unpause and see what I do, which is the best case scenario, you know, between a rock and a hard place, the lesser of the two evils. I decide to charge him, okay? I decide to outright charge him because he's a really good player and he's gonna derp me to death, and there is no way out now. There is either do damage and die, or don't do damage and die. You pick. So I take his back. I took his side and his back, and am unloading into his side and back. And one round left, and 33 health, and I crack myself. And I repair, and I keep going, keep him busy, and my ally gets the kill, and now I'm going forward because they need gun depression to get me, right? So that's why the guy drives out and gets me. But that was the best possible case scenario that could have happened in that situation. And if you need to rewind and go over that to verify that it wasn't gonna go any better than that. I did the right thing taking his back. If you're really curious to know, we do wind up winning this battle, but I'm not gonna stick around and you know, show all that, because just take my word for it, we wind up winning that. We had a really good advantage, and you could just see the map control going on here. Look at all that green text. We're killing their guys. It's 5-2. It only gets better from here because I did a crucial thing, and you can do that too. Go to a position where your tank is needed. Play that role. You got to get that map control, and you gotta, you know, grab it by the horns while you got it, right? Strike while the iron's hot, and press, especially when there's an ally with his gun there helping you properly. Anyway, on to the next video, right? The T-54, stock of course again, absolutely nothing on this vehicle, purely stock. Now, yeah, Arctic region, as seen in the previous Bat Chat clip, but now seen from the opposite side, attacking from the opposite side. This is where, this is how I'm going to show you from where a medium tank or light tank, some kind of scout role, some fast tank is going to rush, even with my poor engine that isn't upgraded. I'm going to still attempt to play my role, and I'm going to attempt to get to position where I am needed on this map. Now remember, we had me and the Batman take this mission before, as that enemy T-54 right there is trying to do, and that T-71. So my job is to meet them here, and it's either going to be a neutral stall. By the way, I tracked the T-71. He's going to be picked apart pretty soon because I tracked him. And let's see here. They managed to hit him pretty bad on his way out, and he escaped. But at least we hurt him. Now, I come over here and I'm just going to hold and pretty much do what they're doing, which is stop me from advancing, and I stop them from advancing. It's kind of a, you know, pretty even tug of war at this point, right? Although I am keeping them lit as best as possible, keeping in mind the natural strengths of this vehicle, which is its strong turret. And this one is pretty okay for a strong turret. It gets better with the upgraded turret, of course, which I don't have the luxury of just yet. And basically I'm going to try light stuff. Our artillery was pretty on key. In this match we were lucky enough to have pretty good artillery that fired at the right targets that were being lit sufficiently. And so I am gently probing forth, you know, anticipating to somehow swerve away from enemy fire if need be. And right now I'm hoping to get to the next cover, next set of cover, which is these rocks. I'll go to this one first. Okay, not lit, great. Then I can afford to go to the bush, which I can use to see. Then I'm gonna smoothly transition, try not to touch the trees, to the rock. Okay, not lit yet. To the next rock, and keep going, keep going. Now you don't need light bulb to do this, but it really helps, because what you would do is you would pause, go back, see if you're fired at, pause again. And this kind of, you know, probing out from that side, it is really crucial. In fact, if I didn't have light bulb, I would have just stayed by that tree right there and wait until I get support. Now the T-34-2 is taking advantage of a helpless VK-3002D, which is stuck down in the body of water there in that crater, which he really doesn't have to. He's just, you know, hoarding points, damage points right now for experience, because the guy will never get out of there, trust me. That vehicle, or I'm really willing to guess nobody can get out of there once they fall in there. So we could have just ignored him, but he chose to kill him, which is fine. Because, you know, many of us would have done the same in his shoes. But I could really use his help over here. I'm trying to fight some enemies and stay already safe. Remember now, the enemy has 2 artillery, one on tier 9 and another tier 8, which can lay down a hammer pretty damn strong. And you know where they spawn on this map. If I were to not be sheltered by this rock, they would hammer me pretty hard right about now. So here we go, the 34-2 is charging forth, which is going to be great for me because that'll allow me to follow in his lead. Of course, watching out for that SU-152, you don't want to get derped by that, right? I happen to have an HE shell loaded at the time. The next one that I shot him with right here was the AP. The HE was originally for the IS, just to keep him tracked. If he was going to side scrape and give me his track, I was going to control his side scrape with HE. That's just the rock, paper, scissors reaction usually with that. And I rushed to take the side of the SU because he was facing that way, anticipating us to come from that way. And I'm glad artillery was on key yet again, and his deliverance was as needed, just when needed. Now, why do I go into here? Because I want to get off the radar. I know that the enemy artillery would love to hit me right about now, so I drive straight into that corner made by the rocks, so I could be safe from those artillery. And surely, as you could see, they would have had shots on me. I fire. It was a tracking shot. Womp womp, right? Against the artillery. And he's probably still tracked, which is why I take the blind shot. Makes sense, right? Makes sense. Now here's this artillery here, he's moving, so he can't focus. And if he can't focus, that means we gotta kill him, while he can't kill us. He's aiming, and don't let him fire. Now here's a AMX 5100. I tried to hide and weather the storm behind this dead ally, and did a pretty good job absorbing it with my tracks the first time, backed up and got nicked in the butt. And you can only imagine that based on his, what I like to call body language, right? He's probably reloading right now. Because why would he stop suppressing me if he could still fire at me as he's been doing and not let me peek out from my cover? So logic would say that he is reloading right now. And he is reloading right now. And why am I greedy? Why am I, you know, in his face right now while he's vulnerable on reload? Because I wanted to help my allies take out the guy who had his back to me, which was the 28 Prot, so that they can in turn now help me with this guy, alright? Now there's going to be something critical, watch this. Watch this. I turn my turret in such a way to deflect his shot. Because I knew he wants to hit me in the observation device. He did manage to hit me once, but I didn't let him hit the second time. That second time was a ricochet, and I turned my turret to deflect the shot he wanted to take at my observation device. Thanks for watching.